what's happening? Welcome back, Dream Company family. Thank you guys for tuning in. This week, we actually haven't had a video in a while, so yeah, we've been kind of busy, and we're going to be getting back on that. So I appreciate you guys being patient, just kind of sticking with us. We're always about empowerment and making sure people are reaching their full potential and fulfilling their purpose. And so we're always doing the work, and so even if we slow down a little bit, and so I appreciate you guys keeping step with us. So thank you guys again for tuning in. This week we are going to be talking about the trap of the back burner mindset. Escaping the trap of the back burner mindset. This is not going to be a long video, but it's going to be a video that might step on some toes. So just get ready, because this is about helping us go to that next place we want to be, that place we've been praying about. So yeah, the trap of the back burner. Well, let's talk about what the back burner mindset actually is. It's really not complicated. All it really is when other things become a priority over your own wants and needs. When other things consistently, I forgot to add that word, consistently become a priority over your own wants and needs. And so obviously, life requires us to establish priorities so that we can be successful. Of course, as parents, we have to put our kids first. We have to make sure they're fed and that they are safe, and that they have warm beds to sleep in, they have everything they need for school, and of course they get older, those needs just keep evolving and they keep changing, and they it's like there's always a sense of putting their needs before yours. That's natural. That's just a part of life, right? We have to prioritize our lives so that we can make sure the babies is taken care of. Nothing wrong with that. Financial obligations, work. Clearly, there are days where you just do not want to go to work, or there are days where you would prefer to spend the money you made at work on some new J's, or get a new outfit, or go take a trip, or whatever the case may be. But the rent is due. But you got to take care of these bills, and those are priorities. It's a part of life. You can't just keep spending your money the way however you feel like it, like you don't have any financial responsibilities, and you have to, of course, have a job or some means of employment in order to maintain those financial responsibilities. So again, priorities important. Friendships, romantic relationships. It's when you're connected with someone, and it's not always going to be your way. Sometimes you have to. There has to be give and take. There has to be a compromising. There has to be, it's like, hey, I want to go to Wendy's, you want to go to Burger King. You can't always have it your way, So you can, pun intended. But the idea here is that, our priorities will shift based on where we are, what type of relationship we're in, what type of financial obligations we have. Whatever's, life happens, and our priorities have to be in place so that we can be successful, so that we can make sure everybody's taken care of. And I made sure in the advertisement that I put out this week that you guys, there's nothing wrong with taking care of other people. That's a, part of life. You've been taken care of as a baby. You grew up, you became an adult. Now, you have a family, you have kids, you got to take care of now yourself, your kids, and your parents. I mean, it's just the flow of life. That's how it works. And so priorities must be established, and they must be maintained. However, any priority that causes the neglect of other priorities in your life means you have become unbalanced. When other things go to the back burner, when you remove, and I'm not talking about for a season. So to give you an example, which I think you understand this, but I'll go ahead and say it anyway. It's like, hey, I used to, my wife and I, when it was just us, we didn't have any kids. We had a different set of priorities. Now we have kids, so those priorities have changed, right? And so I now am not just a husband, but I'm also a father. That's what I meant. I'm not just a husband, I'm also a father. I'm not just a father, but I'm also a man. And so I have different needs for each one of these hats that I wear. And so if I am trying to be a good husband, it should not setting that as a priority in my life should not mean not being able to be a good father or being able to be a good provider. We can go anywhere we want to go with this. Anywhere our priorities lie, being able to provide for my children should not mean that I neglect myself as a man. You know what I mean? It's like I need things as a man, and I'm not necessarily talking about sexual things. I'm talking about just as a man. I need quiet time. I need time to myself, work on me. You know, I just need to be able to sit back and watch a movie, play a, you know, PS4 for you Xbox users. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. You know, it just, there are things that I need to kind of keep myself healthy. And, you know, going to the gym, you know, so we're talking about health. There are things that I need as a man to take care of me. I should not have to sacrifice or put those things on the back burner in order to take care, in order to be a good father. Both are priorities. Both are needed. Anything that is neglected, now neglect is a strong word because it's not just for the moment, it's the way you live. It's like if you keep putting on the back burner, if something keeps getting ignored or not enough attention is being given to a certain thing for an extended period of time, that equals neglect. So I'm not talking about, you know, oh, okay, well, we'll wait next week and do this. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about the way you live your life. You're struggling in one of these areas because the logic behind it is, well, I'm trying to be a good this, whatever that is for you. I'm trying to be good at this, or I'm trying to focus on my career right now. I'm trying to focus on whatever God is giving you for you to maintain and for you to be good at. You have the time and the resources to be good at all of it. You don't have to pick and choose. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why we put ourselves, our dreams, our things that are supposed to be priorities in our lives, why we end up putting those things on the back burner and why they stay there. So again, let me say, priorities, must have them. So I'm not saying that it's not important to have these things. I'm just saying sometimes we can miss the mark and we can put things down that should not have been put down. And so let's talk a little bit about why, what causes us to become unbalanced to the point where we are consistently, because it's about, again, the way you live your life, consistently prioritizing everything else over your own wants and needs. Let's talk about, I got 3 things that actually cause this to happen in our lives. And so the first one is this. We undervalue ourselves. We undervalue ourselves. And it's like, well, what does that mean exactly? It's like, well, if I could use an analogy, it's like, okay, you have a vehicle, you know what I'm saying? There are things that this vehicle needs in order to operate, right? It obviously has to have gas, it has to have tires, it has to have oil, there are lots of things the vehicle has to have. Some of these things are immediate needs, like gas. Others are like your tires, which you can roll on those for an extended period of time, years even. Here's the problem that we run into when I talk about undervaluing ourselves. Nothing wrong with prioritizing gas over tires. Obviously, you need gas in that tank every week. Especially if you're driving often, you're gonna need gas. It just, it's something that needs to be replenished regularly, as opposed to an oil filter or tires. Those things do not have to be replenished on a weekly. Sometimes it's more than once a week. You don't have to replace those things. Here's the problem we run into: we undervalue we don't give the tires or the other things that the car needs the proper importance. We don't place the proper importance on those things. So here's what happens. We keep putting gas in the car, and then we can see our tires are clearly starting to bald, right? They're getting smooth. They have no grip on them whatsoever, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, right now I got some other things that I'm investing in, so that's not as important as this. That's the undervaluing. It's like, this is a priority, and gas is a priority. It's like, okay, my windshield wipers are not functioning. I gotta have those because I can't be driving in this rain and I can't see. That's a priority. There are different things that we keep putting above other things, but here's the thing, and those are immediate investments that have to take place, but the long-term investments are just as important. We can't undervalue the other things that the vehicle needs and in place of the immediate needs. And so for ourselves, for our own lives, this is what it looks like. It's like, okay, as parents, it's like, well, the kids need this, the kids need this, the kids need this. And so you keep putting your needs on the back burner. You keep putting rest. You keep putting being able to go on date night with your boo. You keep putting things on the back burner. Put them back. But it's like, okay, the kids need this. We got to take care of this. The house needs this. And so there's always going to be something that needs your immediate attention. If you don't value the other things that are long-term things that hold up. They're also needs. They're also things. They may not be immediate as school lunch. It's like, well, we need lunch for the kids. We need to make sure they have lunch this week. Absolutely, make sure that's taken care of. But making sure the kids' lunch is taken care of is not an excuse for not spending time with your wife. You need both. You need both to make this family work. You need both to make this relationship, this life work. And so what we do is we undervalue ourselves. We undervalue the things that should be priorities. These relationships that are meant to be foundation, foundational stones in the life that we're trying to build. We end up undervaluing those things, even if it's just us. I'm talking about your relationship with someone else, but even if it's just you not getting enough rest, eventually that's going to take a toll on you. It may not be immediate. It may not be like, okay, well, I didn't really get any sleep last night, and so I'm really tired today. But it's like, okay, but an extended period of time neglecting yourself, it's going to have a negative impact on you. And so you are undervaluing yourself. You're putting your needs on the back burner, and what's worse is you are justifying it by saying, well, the kids are taken care of. Even if it's just a relationship. It's like, well, right now, me and my boo, we're not, we haven't really had a date night in several months. We haven't really been able to spend any real time together. We're always trying to make sure the kids are taken care of. And it's like, those are things that you need. You can't undervalue, those things. They're just as important as making sure the kids have food every day. They're just as important as making sure that, whatever, it might not be a physical need. It could just be, spending time with the kids, hanging out with them, listening to their day. Those are emotional connections that have to be established. Well, just like you are making connections with your babies, you got to make connections with your wife, your partner, your husband, whatever it is. You have to make those connections because they are the foundation of the life you're building. You cannot undervalue those things and keep saying, this is more important, this is more important, this is more important, this is more. Eventually, the thing that's holding you up is going to break. You know what I'm saying? Just like those tires on that car. It's like they're going to bust, and now you're going to be on the side of the road with a full tank of gas and can't go nowhere. Right? Because you made sure you had gas money, but you didn't invest in those tires, and now you're on the side of the road. So you need to make sure you're not undervaluing things. Just because they're not immediate needs doesn't mean that they aren't needs. So if you have any questions about that, I know this video is going to be posted later, so just hit me up. Let me know if you don't understand something. I'm always for trying to explain and make sure people have an understanding. If you watch the video and you walk away unchanged, then really didn't do my job. So I want you to hear me, and I want you to ask questions, even if you disagree. Come at me, bro. No, that's not what I'm saying. But no, we can talk it out. I know I'm not always right, but the idea here is to help us move to a place of a healthy lifestyle, not just in our bodies physically, but emotionally, in our relationships, in our finances, in every area of our life. We're excelling and we're seeing the best of ourselves. We're reaching our full potential. So number 2, underestimating our impact on others. So this is actually built on the first one. Because we undervalue ourselves or things in our lives that are meant to be priorities, we think that we can keep operating on this level when we're at this level. So what does that mean practically? I'm going to use again that car analogy here. So you got a full tank of gas, but your tires are garbage. So when it snows, when it rains, when the roads are slick, you don't have the performance you think you should have. And it's like, well, why is the car doing this? Because you have neglected this for so long, it can't function the way it's supposed to. What does that mean for us? You cannot give your best if you are not at your best. You are underestimating the impact that you have on other people. Yeah, of course, if you're at your best and you're rested, you can give your all. But it's like when you're, when you're exhausted, when you're emotionally, you're not really where you should be, when you're dealing with wounds and hurts from your past, whatever it may be. If you're not at your best, if you're not taking the time to prioritize your own needs, or just the needs that help maintain the life that you have, it's going to impact your relationships negatively. And so here's what happened, because again, this is one of the reasons why we put our own needs on the back burner. We think that people won't notice that, oh, it's like, well, I'm gonna keep taking care of business. I don't have time to take care of this right now. I mean, this has to be done. So I mean, it doesn't matter that I'm tired. It doesn't matter that I have to do this. Like, no, you can't keep operating at this level. You're even on a job in a professional situation. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Productivity will decrease when there's a lack of morale, when there's a lack, people are not rested, when people are not feeling well, when they're ill. I mean, you can't keep neglecting your needs and thinking that you can keep performing on this level. Performing doesn't, obviously, I mean, I was referring to a job, but you can't be your best in a marriage when you have neglected it for so long. You can't be your best in your relationship with your kids when it's like you've neglected that for so long. It's like, just like, I mean, think about a garden. It's like when you neglect a garden, what do you get? You get weeds, you get all the dandelions and stuff, and it's like, and it's still yours, but it's like now you got to go and uproot all the stuff. It's like you can't keep operating and expecting things to look pretty and be the best that they should be when you've neglected it for so long. Eventually, the neglect is going to take a toll on your relationships, on the very things that you have put all of your attention into, the very things that you have decided these are priority, and I'm going to put all my time and energy and resources into these things. The things that you're trying to maintain will begin to suffer because you have underestimated the impact that neglecting your own life has on how you deal with these other things in your life. And so, very important that we don't undervalue ourselves, but as a result of undervaluing ourselves, we underestimate that impact. You can't just keep, I give you a great story. My wife, it's like, well, I've been married for about 15 years now. And so, there are times when, she hasn't rested or I haven't rested and we're snapping at each other and different things where it's like, well, we don't really mean to do that thing. We're not actually even mad at each other. It's just, we're just tired. I was like, the kids came in and I was like, stop yelling. Why are you yelling? It's like, well, I mean, it's not that you're trying to be mean to the kids. It's just you have a need, and that need has not been met. Okay, so when the kids come in, usually you can tolerate that. It affects your performance. It affects your impact on that relationship. It begins to suffer. Now, if you have prolonged neglect, then what do you think is going to happen? That means that all the time, the kid's gonna come in the room. Why mommy always tired? Why mommy always yelling? Why mommy always fussing? Why daddy always, It's like, that's what's gonna happen. And so the very thing that you're trying to create, you're trying to be super mom, super dad, you're trying to be the best employee you can be. Those relationships, those commitments, those things are going to suffer because you're neglecting yourself. And so it starts with undervaluing your needs, and then you convince yourself that neglect won't impact your relationships negatively, and it absolutely will. Number 3, and one of the reasons we keep putting our needs on the back burner is because we operate from a place of lack. And I really want to help you understand this. Operating from a place of lack, or what you would call like a poverty mindset, it's not about the money you have in your account. Operating from a place of lack means that you believe that you don't have enough to do the things that you are responsible for. So, no matter what's in your account, you always feel like you don't have enough. No matter what responsibilities you have right now, you always feel overwhelmed. You always feel at a lack. You always feel at a loss. You always feel like I don't have enough time. I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough money. I don't have it. It's lack. It's a place of lack. And so what we do to survive that is take things that we think are not priorities, there it is, undervaluing, and we put those on the back burner. It's like, okay, now I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for this. This is what I need to focus on. And so if you're not operating from a place of lack, if you understand that whatever God is giving you, He's also giving you the time and the resources to make those things successful and to maintain those things in a place of excellence. Here's the problem. A lot of us, because we have our own mindset about how things should work, we don't trust God to lead us in the things that we're supposed to be doing, then we end up, just very practically, if I have enough money for everything, but I spend too much money in one area, then one of the other areas is going to lack, right? That makes sense. That's very practical. If I have time to spend with my kids, and then I have time to spend with my wife, and I spend too much time with my wife, then my kids miss out on having a parent. Or vice versa. It's like, I'm gonna make sure these kids are taken care of. They're gonna have FaceTime with me all the time, but your wife is being neglected. She ain't seen. All you do is work and come home and play with the kids, which makes you an awesome father and provider, but you suck as a husband. I mean, even from a parenting perspective, it's like we think, and I'm, again, stepping on toes, I'm sorry, but we think, oh, as a parent, I didn't have these things growing up, and I didn't, I went through all of this, so I'm going to make sure my kids never go without. They're going to have everything that I never had. Let me tell you something, that does not make you a good parent. I'm sorry. It doesn't. It doesn't make you a good parent to give the kids everything. Your job as a parent is to provide, protect, and prepare. Provide, protect, and prepare. Those three things should not contradict each other. I should not be providing so well that I don't protect. And I should not be protecting so well that I can't prepare you. If I have given you everything as my child, but you are ill-equipped to go out into the world and be successful, then I spoiled you. I gave you everything, but I spoiled you. I didn't prepare you for life. And so, again, this is about balance. It's not saying that you can't give them things. But sometimes you gotta say no. It's like sometimes it's like with the kids, mommy, I want to sleep in the bed with you. No, mommy's tired. It's like, or daddy is like, hey, daddy, come play outside and play football. No, daddy needs to rest, or there's gonna be some problems. It's like, because I really, or just whatever that is. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be. Because I'm talking a lot about sleep and rest, but I mean, that's usually what ends up being put on the back burner for most of us. We don't get the rest we need. We don't eat the food that we should be eating. We don't take care of our bodies the way we should take care of them. That's usually what ends up being on the back burner. Things that we feel like can be put off for a while, but then our bodies start having health issues. We start having, mental, emotional issues because we haven't spent enough. Just having some alone time will go a long way, you know what I mean, towards your emotional health and being able to connect with other people. If you are operating from a place of lack, you feel like you have to choose between one thing and the other. It's like, I don't have enough for everything, so I'm going to pick the things that I feel are priorities. How do we fix this? Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, a verse we probably all heard many times if we grew up in church. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not to your own understanding. In everything you do, acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. Check this out. Clearly, He's not saying you can't trust your thoughts. Don't ever trust anything coming out of your mouth or your head. That's not what He's referring to. This word, lean on your own understanding, lean here, it means to put your full strength on. To lean like on a staff or a cane. To put your full strength, your full weight on. Don't lean fully on your own understanding. Take those things that you feel, take those things that you're going through, take those things that you're struggling with, take them to the Lord and let Him balance you, right? And then, of course, that next, I kind of already said it. He'll make your path straight, or the way the King James says it is that He will direct your path. But the actual word here does not mean He will put you on a straight and narrow. What it really is saying is that He will balance you. He said the actual word there, it means to be leveled. So it means you don't tip too much this way, I don't tip too, like a tightrope. It's like He needs you to be balanced. He needs you to have enough time as a husband, enough time as a father, enough time as a wife, enough time as a mother, enough time to yourself, enough time, spend time on your finances and budgeting, enough time spent just hanging around the house doing nothing, enough time working and investing in your future, enough time in all these years. He's giving you enough to do all of it. The problem is you are leaning on your own understanding. You've decided this is a priority, so I'm going to spend all my time and money in this. And so this ends up being neglected, and then all of a sudden we start having problems in this area, and it's like, well, I don't have time to this. This is falling apart. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. And then this is destroyed, and then it's like, well, God, help me. And it's like, I need you to let go. I need you to stop thinking you know everything. And let me tell you, it's like, I know you think giving the kids everything is what you should do as a parent, but you also need to function in this area too. I know you think that if you work real hard as a father, it's like, I'm going to provide and I'm going to do this for my kids. And my dad wasn't in my life, so I'm going to make sure my kids always, they never go without, but they never see your face. You exhausted every day because you work and you come home and you go to sleep. As well you should, but you working 14, 15-hour days. God is not going to make you choose between fatherhood and being a husband, or fatherhood and providing, and you know what I mean? Everything He's giving you, your kids, your spouse, your finances, your emotional health, your weight, your health. I mean, just all of it. He's going to give you everything you need to be successful in all of these areas. You don't have to put any of it on the back burner. Now, if things come in your life and they're not supposed to be priorities, because we have to address that too, we have to be open for God to tell us, this is not important right now. Take this, put it over here. We will come back to it. Now, and this is what we struggle with. In our minds, it's like, well, no, this is everything. We got to do it. It's like, well, see, now we tip it into idolatry, because what you're saying is, God, I don't trust you. And even though you're telling me to let this thing go so that I can be successful, I'm going to take it and make it my priority instead of hearing your voice and obeying your words. So we have to trust him. We have to let him guide us. Now, if putting things on the back burner, putting your dreams and your personal needs on the back burner is working for you, by all means keep doing it. But I'm here to talk to the people who are tired of living that way. If you're tired of putting stuff on the back burner, you tired of being neglected, and you tired of not having the things that you want and you need, listen to what I'm saying. God told you you can have all of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can have everything you want. I'm not talking necessarily about, it's like, oh, I want to win the lottery. That's not where I'm going with that. What I'm saying is, everything that he put in your life for you to fulfill your purpose, for you to fulfill your potential, for you to be everything, the pinnacle of who you were meant to be, you have enough. You have more than enough, which is why the scripture says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. There's nothing that he can't provide for me if he's my shepherd, if he's the one that feeds me, if he's the one that protects me, if he's the one that provides, if I'm letting him do that in my life, I won't lack anything. Our problem is that we don't depend on him, and so it's up to us. And we're limited in our understanding, we're limited in our strength, we're limited in our time, but he's infinite. Why not trust the one that wants to give you everything you need so that you can have everything you want? You keep praying for God. It's like, give me more time, give me more money. It's like, no, sit down. Stop doing this, stop doing that, and you will actually have the thing that you're praying for, but you won't chill out. So, again, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to step on toes, but it's like some of us need to hear this because we just keep going. 20 years, 30 years go by, and you still haven't taken care of things that are important to you. You didn't take care of everybody else, which is very noble. But now you're bitter because you done took care of everybody else and you've neglected your own happiness and your own fulfillment. And now you're 50 and 60 and you're trying to get back and you're trying to live vicariously through the children. It's like, no, go do it. See, that's where a lot of that stuff comes from. You neglected yourself so long. Now you have to try to find a way to get that stuff back. But you don't have to do that, family. Trust God. He has already given you enough. He is faithful. And he's giving you, if he put it in your heart for something for it to be a priority in your life, I tell these to the people in my affiliates. I said, if God order it, he gonna pay for it. He don't run out on the bill. If he puts you here and he put it in your heart and he wanted you to manifest it, guess what? He's got the provision for you, but you got to trust him and you got to stop leaning to your understanding. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, if you have any questions, hit me up, inbox me. If you're interested in becoming an affiliate, if you have a business or you have an organization you're trying to promote and you need help getting that thing off the ground, that's all we do is help people see their visions fulfilled. We are catapults for people's purpose. And so come see us, come talk to us. If you have questions, I can tell you more about it. We're going to be doing some great things coming up the rest of this year, some classes and different things. Come see us. Don't sleep on us. So thank y'all again for tuning in. Love y'all. Talk to you soon.